Hello, it's Marc Davis, and I'm back with another channel update. I'm recording this the Friday, the 4th, before, obviously, today's Monday. So I'm recording this a couple days in advance. And yeah, I just wanted to go over a couple of things. Hopefully it's not going to be as long as the last update. There's a lot less to talk about. But things I'm going to be going over is obviously reflecting on the past week, the upcoming schedule for the upcoming week. Talking about some things in personal life that happened in the past week, some games I've been playing, some books I've been reading. I meant to get to this stuff in the last update, but I didn't get to it. And then at the end, some music I've been listening to lately that's been really playing on repeat. And it'll be in the background, so if you want to go check that out, I don't know, I feel like, just want to add a little bit to your life. I had so much from this music, maybe you can get something from it too. Isn't this what this all is about? Sharing experiences, having a good time, to fill the void in our lives from the lack of substantive social interaction we have in our physical interactions. Anyways, reflecting on the past week on this channel, performance-wise, not good, folks, not great. We're hanging around the single digits in terms of views. Not great. No new subscribers. That's fine. And I kind of deserve that. When you're gone for such a long time, you gotta get that streak back up. Once you lose that streak, people are just gonna forget about you. So that makes sense why subscribers wouldn't necessarily come back and watch, because a lot of people, I think, people don't check their sub boxes to watch videos as much as they used to. I definitely do not at all. I never check the sub box for my people I like. I just go from the recommended. I just get stuff from the recommended pretty much, or notifications, which I don't think most people have push notifications on. I don't even know if I could check that, but yeah, to put it simply, in terms of performance of the videos, not great and should be improved on. Quality, I think, they were, good, solid, a continuation of what I've been doing. Not necessarily better than any July videos, but solid onto themselves. And the reception, I don't really know, because no one commented or liked or disliked the video. So for all I know, they could be complete dog shit. So in terms of how people feel about it, but I thought they were okay. Personally, I'm satisfied with them. I'm not completely happy with it, and I think there's some room for growth. Definitely, there always is. Especially my videos are not anything special, but I'm satisfied. And in this upcoming week, I'm looking to improve in an assortment of ways. So let's talk about that when I get to the schedule. So pretty much, trying to look at it, it's kind of ridiculous. Later today, all the way until Saturday afternoon, all Super Mario Galaxy videos, parts 14 through 20. And that is 7 parts, and I'm going to be doing about 4 stars each. So it's going to be 28 stars done this week. Plus, there might be like a couple ones that have 5 in there. So we're going to get a lot done in this week. And I planned out the stars I'm going to be getting. So the Let's Play should be over by Halloween, the 31st. And oddly enough, the final part would be part 31. So that's something, I guess. But anyways, looking to improve these videos by, having better commentary always. So I started preparing a lot more, getting my mind lubed up to talk about Mario, because you just can't be like cold cocking it. And when you're talking about something, I need to think about it a little bit before. Not necessarily watching other people's videos to see the layouts, but I'm just trying to get my memory back and get myself acquainted with the challenges that are upcoming. So I'm actually prepared for what I'm going to be saying, and bringing in some graphics, some pretty little graphics. The star completion graphic maybe to illustrate how much progress we're making. So I don't really make a point of saying what stars we've done or need to do, because there's actually a lot that needs to be done. There's like 7 stars per big galaxy, and I never really say that. So illustrating that a little more. Also, the graphics for the enemies that we see, integrating that in so I can actually get the official names up on screen, some official artwork, and maybe a little description as well as we see new enemies. So in the first, like this week, we're going to be seeing a lot of enemies that we saw before, like Goombas, those cannonballs, or whatever. Just a bunch of enemies that we've seen before, and I have to go over again. The graphic will have to show up for the first time even though we've been seeing them forever and there's Goombas, I felt like I need to do that to keep it consistent, I guess. And those Goombas that are like small, like little stout things, they're called mini Goombas. That's it. For the longest time, that stumped me. They're just called mini Goombas. I might have said that before, but again, I'm just remembering that now. So yeah, that's the schedule coming up for the rest of this week. A lot of new stuff. The reason I'm just doing the Super Mario Guy stuff this week, I'm just trying to record it all today. I got 4 parts to record today. 5 parts or something to record today. I'm gonna do that after this. Try to get that edited and uploaded as soon as possible. Cause a week after this, I got some stuff planned. I think y'all are gonna like. But let's move on to the past week in my life. Cause this week has been heavy load, heavy flow of work coming in. I had this editing project for one of my film classes, and so it was due Tuesday. Well, really, it was due like 2 weeks ago, on a Thursday. And the guy said since something happened, like the building was closed because it was getting fumigated or something, or the bathroom wasn't working. So no one could come in and edit their stuff that one day. But we had the project for like a month. So like, okay, you just didn't do it that one day. You had 29 other days to do it. But he was still like, I'll just give you an extra weekend to do it, and I'll give you a minus 15% penalty for doing that instead of, 0 for coming in late. So you're like, okay, I'll just take that. I'll take the minus 15 because I haven't been doing it. I didn't even start it at that point when he was saying that. It was 2 days before it was due. I didn't even start yet. I'm like, okay, I'll just do it this weekend, I guess. And I go there that weekend. No one's in the building at all. And I didn't really get down the time that I was supposed to be open. He said all day, and it was like blah 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 till 8 p.m. And I didn't get the blah 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 part in, so I came in at 9, stayed till like 10, and no one was there. So I just left Saturday, didn't get anything done. Sunday decided not to go because I didn't want to repeat of Saturday. Then Monday, I skipped my English class. I plan on spending my whole day in that room editing that short film, and so the first hour went by design. 9 o'clock I had to leave because the class was coming in. I sat in the subway the subway cafeteria thing. It's just Subway is part of the campus, so it's like this big cafeteria. It's not like your normal Subway ran by Indian immigrants. It was staffed by local black folk, non-intimidating black folk. And I'm sitting in. It doesn't open till 10, but you could sit in there and use it as like a cafeteria or like some type of workspace until it opens up. So I did that and worked on some stuff. And I go back. I eventually eat lunch. Get a sandwich or whatever, and I go back when the lab opens up again. Find out all the computers were using Avid editing software. They all crash. All the Avids are like you can't open it up. And that was frustrating. So Tuesday I come back in determined I'm going to get this stuff done. But I had like 3 hours of classes to work past, I should say. But the thing was, didn't go by design again because I didn't realize that day that same class had a midterm as well. So I go in, he says open up the computers, we're about to do this midterm, whatever. And 22 minutes later I finish with a nice thick C, and it was 8:22, and he said y'all could leave. The smart thing to do was just to stay there, keep using the computer to edit, but not little old me. I just walked home because I'm not about to wait an hour and a half to go to the next class. I'm just gonna go home. So I did that. Thursday was wasted. Wednesday, all right, we're past the date that it was the late fee, like the late time to do it. I emailed my teacher, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to finish it because the things was broken and poor time management or whatever. And he was like, okay, just finish it, have it done by the time you see me or whatever. When I go in there Wednesday, spend a lot of my extra time in there doing that. And Thursday I did like most of it Wednesday. Thursday I spent a lot of extra time in there finishing it up. And this movie, the plot of the movie is like there's a guy who doesn't have a lot of money, and his kid has like cancer, I guess, and There's no dialogue. It's a silent movie. It wasn't recorded like this, but for the sake of the exercise, it's a silent movie. The guy, is waiting for the security guard to leave the reception area, so he walks past that, goes upstairs where the medicine is. What I don't understand is like I thought she had like cancer because she's like bald or whatever, like looks like a victim of chemotherapy. What I'm thinking is that the guy didn't have enough money to keep the chemo going, so he took his child out of there, and instead, got his gun and went to the hospital and robbed the place at gunpoint to get the medicine. Now, that makes sense. People are desperate these days. We need to nationalize healthcare. I understand. I sympathize with that. But the thing is, she gets the medicine out, and it's a bunch of lollipops. And it's not a joke or anything. It was seriously, that's the medicine, was lollipops. And I felt like editing past that, because was that supposed to be that? I didn't know lollipops could have. I'm gonna Google it right now. Can you cure cancer? Like, is there lollipop, like candy, cancer treatment? Candy cancer treatment. Type it very slow here. Sugar and cancer? Nope. Can cancer patients eat candy? No, that's not. Okay, they're talking about sugar causing cancer. No. I want lollipop cancer treatment. Lollipop cancer treatment. So, through prescribed primarily in cancer treatment, the fentanyl-laced lollipop, a sugary fruit-flavored confection on a plastic stick, has also been used to relieve migraine and cluster headaches, severe back pain, bone pain, arthritis, and other chronic conditions. So maybe she doesn't even have cancer. She just has one of those conditions. So it isn't a lollipop. Okay. I don't know how safe that is to give your child unregulated doses of fentanyl-laced lollipops, but that's the movie. That's not really the point of the exercise. But anyways, he gets it. On the way down, the security guard comes back in with the kid, because the kid was like petting the dog outside and saw him, and like, oh, I should take you in, kid, so you're just not outside gambling about. And then the security officer sees the guy come down, the guy who robbed the lollipops with the gun that he used to rob the person at gunpoint, takes his gun out. The dad just spears him before he gets the gun out. They have this action scene, and it ends with the dad having the lollipops and forcing the security guard to put the gun down, because the security guard understands that the little kid really needs that candy and he's desperate. That's how the movie ends. And I really tried hard, thought a lot about it while editing it, and tried to just make the best thing I can, even though I'm probably going to get like a 60 on it because I was so late. I was double late past the normal date and late past the late date, so I really don't deserve any high grade on it. But I finished it. I was like super tired, just really wanted to just pass out in the room. Afterwards, I go to the teacher's room, who was texting me at this horrible time. Okay, I went to the guy's room. We watched the movie together. Before that, we were talking about, he asked me, what do you want to do in life? I'm like, I don't really know. What do you want to do with the degree? I was like, I'm really interested in screenwriting. I like to make historical films and all this, that, and third. Then he asked me, do you like playing video games? I'm like, yeah, mostly RPGs. And then he asked which one I'm playing right now. By the way, one of the things I am playing right now, and I just recently kind of beat, was the Super Mario Brothers Deluxe for the Switch. Was a Wii U game. We'll talk a little bit about that. And we talk about games for a bit as he's opening up my project. We watched a movie. It was 3 minutes, 57 seconds long. And we were silent. He was just watching the thing. I was quite nervous how I was going to react to it. And then he asked me, what do you think? What do you think you did? I'm like, I think I did okay. In some spots I could have cut some stuff out, but I think I did all right. And he was like, well, this was great. You probably had the best one in the class. You have a natural talent for editing. A lot of invisible cuts, a lot of good stuff in there. A lot of attention to detail and a knack for storytelling. And I'm like, God damn, that's great. I was holding back the smile on my face. I don't know what my natural inclination is to hold back the smile, because I didn't want to show how happy I was. But God damn, that felt great. So all that work and the stress was worth it. I mean, I could have mitigated that by just doing it on time and still got the 90 he said I would have got if I did it on time. But damn. Oh, so I'm reading. There's another article. It says how a lollipop is helping this person beat the pain of cancer. Okay, so it helps with the pain aspect, not necessarily cancer itself. All right. I learn something new every day. Anyways, next thing. What we're talking about up next. Oh, in terms of the YouTube channel, my goal for this month is to get a week ahead in videos by the end of the month. So at the end of October, I want to have done the first week of November videos. I don't know how to reiterate that, but so right now, I haven't edited Monday or Tuesday videos up. Computer's wearing up. It's getting hot right now. We could probably hear that. Anyways, right now I'm only like a couple days ahead, and hopefully I can get a nice week ahead by the end of the month. That's what I'm working towards. I just need to get ahead so I don't get when I do get burnt out. If I do, I will have some videos to fall back on so I can take a break. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. I'm working pretty hard on trying to prepare for these videos for the next couple weeks. So nothing happened in the past week. So my interest in wrestling has been piqued again by the debut of All Elite Wrestling was on TNT. I thought for some reason it premiered like a month ago or something, like a while back. I was looking for it on TNT. I'm like, I thought it was on there. But I guess, I haven't been keeping up with wrestling, so I don't really know. I haven't really kept up with wrestling since February, so I really don't know. But it piqued my interest. I was going to watch a little bit of it, but then something else called. Had to talk to someone when they needed it the most. So I'm like, I'll just watch some other time. I don't really have time for this anyway. I need to go to sleep. But I've been watching a lot of sports. I watched Monday Night Football. What was it? It was Bengals versus Steelers. God, man, what a shitty game. But I'll put this in here because I want to talk about these different things. I saw a hot take by my boy Bill Simmons. He was on ESPN. I was surprised by that. He was on PTI and he was talking about what's it called? How Ben Roethlisberger and Drew Brees are done. They're finished. Which, come on, dude. Okay, Roethlisberger is finished, right? It has nothing to do with the injury. He's just bad. He's inconsistent. His bad games are just off the wall bad, and his good games are really good. But it's he's getting older, and those bad games are happening more often, and he doesn't have the weapons, AKA he doesn't have Antonio Brown to kind of mitigate the bad play, right? So he's already on the decline. He's 38. And he's always taking big hits, and eventually, something like an injury or just a gaggle of bad games are going to happen. And this is what happened this season. So I agree with him on this, but I don't like the way he put it. Presentation matters to me. But also Drew Brees. Let's get to that horrible ass take in presentation and substance. He was talking about how. Well, actually, I don't even remember now. I was like the whole. Just the tendon injury of Drew Brees, yeah, it's bad, but it's not I think overall it's going to actually be kind of a blessing in disguise because towards the end of the season, lately, the past couple of years, Drew Brees' arm gets kind of weak towards the end of the season because he's getting older, he's been taking a lot of hits, he's been throwing a lot of passes. Naturally anyone's arm gets tired, but especially, older fella like Drew Brees, it's been noticeable in playoff games where, or late season games, his arm's not as strong as in the beginning of the season, obviously. So he's taken 6 to 8 weeks off. That's 6 to 8 weeks of his arm not being used. His hand is still being rehabilitated from that injury, but overall the arm strength's going to be there, and I can expect normal accuracy after maybe a game or two, if that is going to be there by the time late season comes around, time the postseason comes around, because Saints seem like they're going to go back to the postseason. Maybe not have a bye, but they seem like they're going to come out of the NFC South. And I think this might be a blessing in disguise in terms of Drew's play. If that has anything to do with them going to the Super Bowl, which they should have done in the past 2 years, that is yet to be seen. But I think Drew has at least another year after this in the tank. But I think if I was him, if I was that team, it's we gotta fucking win one for Drew. So I mean, that is, because I just want him to be done at this point. How old is he? I think he's like 41. But yeah, I was also watching college football, and it's the first time I really like watched college football any scrutiny. He's 40, but I was watching Alabama versus North Carolina. Just an ass rape of a game. It was like 70 something to 27, I'm pretty sure. And I'm like, why is this acceptable? I don't understand why this. I'm not saying that the NCAA should step in and have like conform people to have a certain number of 5-star recruits, but goddamn, it's just like, why even going up against each other? Like, these should be two separate leagues, and they should also have their own playoff. If this have this whole underclass that cannot compete with the SEC or the Pac-12 teams, I don't know. Maybe that's just, I don't know. Anyways, baseball. Playoffs are now, and I saw Pat McAfee ask the question which for the 4 major sports has the best playoffs. I think at its best basketball does, because so many games, so many ebbs and flows at its best. You know, most of the time it's not that though. It's mostly like the first round is kind of chalk, second round, you know, a little more competitive. You might get one out of the 4 series might be good. Conference finals is always pretty good, and the finals is the finals. You know, that might be bad, might be good. If you think bad is it going 4 or 5 games and good being it going 6 or 7. I mean, I find it inconsistently entertaining to have all that content and only like 2 of the series at any given point being good. Any given round is inconsistent. Football is a spectacle, and as always, I feel like the parity is very much parity in the league. The team that makes it to the playoffs, they're always, you know, always around the same skill. For the most part. I mean, it's not to say it's not blowouts. Those still could be entertaining too. I think football consistently has a better playoff. I don't know anything about baseball. Never watched a full game of hockey in my fucking life, so I'm not gonna comment on that. But this past week, not much else to talk about. Just trying to get through this spike in work, and I think after I get recording the 5 videos after this, I will be done with that, and I'll reward myself with some Papa John's pizza. Can't wait to get lost in that sauce. So games I've been playing, I want to talk about this. I forgot to go over this last time, like I said, and I bought a bunch of games in the summer, and in the summer, so I thought I wasn't gonna get the new Pokemon game, so I thought, you know, with this money I could just buy, you know, other games. So I bought Zelda Ocarina of Time 3DS. Barely played any of it. It's fun, but you know, barely played any of it. Halo Wars 2. Barely played less even than that. I don't even know. Oh, I bought it because it was like $7 for the Ultimate Edition. So I'm like, you know, I can't. That's such a deal. I can't run away from that. Then Civ 4. I bought that. I thought the game was going to be a lot better than what it was. Civ 4 is not. It's no Civ 5. And I got Civ 6, and I tell you, it's no Civ 5. And I didn't buy much of DLC. I bought one DLC. I didn't buy the newest one, though. I had like the first DLC. Because I had like the Civilization Loyalty offer, which you can get the first DLC in the full, you know, the base game for $20, which is a good deal. And now they're offering me another loyalty offer, which is to get the new DLC for half off. So I'm like, dude, you really like loyal people. So I'm like, I'll buy that eventually, but I don't plan on playing Civ 6 in my spare time anytime soon. Then of course the game I've been talking about, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. I beat the final boss, but I still need to get all the star coins for the last 4 worlds and beat the star world. And it's hard. Like the regular game is harder than any other New Super Mario Bros. Game, in my opinion. It's probably the hardest 2D platforming Mario game since Lost Levels. But it's not nearly as hard as Lost Levels, obviously. But New Super Luigi Bros. Apparently is hard like Lost Levels. I haven't played that version of the game yet, so I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, next other game I got was New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the 3DS. I don't see the point in all the coins. I don't get the gimmick. I just don't understand. Like the Wii U game, New Super Mario Bros. Is very original in terms of level design and enemies, but the aesthetics are the same. Which I have, you know, it kind of irks me, but after a while, the aesthetics just, you don't mind them anymore, and you just play the game for itself. And in that respect, the game is great in its gameplay and original in its design, right? New Super Mario Bros. 2, I beat the first world, I'm half through the second world, and I'm getting the same. It's the same aesthetics, and it also seems pretty much the same level design. Maybe that'll change. You know, I only play like not even a quarter of the game, so it probably will change. But I don't know. This seems like very similar levels to older New Super Mario Brothers games, but just with a shit ton of coins. And I'm not really feeling that. But and the graphics do not seem that good. It was an early 3DS game, and like comparing the graphics to 3D Land, it just seems very jaggy. I don't know. I'm not one to ever complain about graphics, but for some reason, going from obviously the Switch to 3DS, there's going to be a big jump to a Switch game to an early 3DS game. But I don't know. Whatever. Those are games I've been playing. Books that I've been reading: Pokemon Adventures. Read the first. I read the Kanto series. Now I'm starting the Johto series. You know, I don't really want to talk about the plot too much, but they're good books. They're good manga, I gotta say. I just got the idea to buy them over the summer because I wanted to be more of a Pokemon fan. I want to get more out of this franchise that I got so much from throughout my life. I want to get more out of it. So I bought some of the books. I got the Gen 1 and Gen 2 books. Yeah, only those. I had thought about buying Gen 3, but I got a lot of stuff to do, so I'm not even have time to read it, so might as well not even buy it. But yeah, they're good books. They're entertaining. The only thing that really irks me is that the Pokemon know moves that they shouldn't, or evolve at levels before, or evolve in ways that they don't. It kind of breaks not the immersion, but breaks the rules of Pokemon in a way. But that stuff is like explained away because I guess the levels in the game is really like an approximation of where the Pokemon will evolve, or when the Pokemon will evolve. Still have to chance exactly when. But in terms of its plot, the substance of its plot, I was enthralled. Had a lot of twists, a lot of turns in the first 7 books. And the second 7 have yet to get very far. I'm still on book number 8 of 14. So I'm looking forward to the thing. I looked at the newer books, not like inside of them, but I looked in terms of the covers to see, you know, are they going to reintroduce some old characters? Because it's a shame if they don't bring red back and blue back and yellow and green. Like, those characters are so good, and I want them to be in a new game. Obviously taking a lesser role because it's a new region, you know, it's a new main character. But I don't want to lose that character development because I'm so attached to yellow and green especially. I do like those characters quite a bit. But you know, I do recommend it. It was like $35 on Amazon. I got them on a deal. I think it normally costs $55, but they're $35 when they're on sale, which they go on sale pretty often, I'm pretty sure. When you buy the box set, I don't recommend buying a single set because it's going to add up to be around the same anyway. So why even bother doing that? And yeah, they're like a new edition. They're not old box sets. Like, even though they originally came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, they've been reprinted in recent years because you go to the back of the book or the front if you're reading like in a Dirty American. If you go there, they'll have ads for like newer editions of the books and newer movies. They had an ad in there for the Diancie movie, so some Gen 6 stuff. Anyways, I'm trying to get around to reading this Vladimir Lenin stuff and this George Orwell stuff, but I started a George Orwell book and I just want to finish it, but I got a lot of stuff to do. But in time. Yep, and before we go, I will talk about some music I've been listening to. This is some 5 songs I thought maybe if you haven't listened to before. Well, you probably listened to some of these before, but these are new twists on some very popular songs. So check them out if you haven't already. So She, the Tyler, the Creator song, you know, when he had the new concerts, he's been like in the past year, he's putting like alternative intros to old songs. And I really like the one he did of, you know, the song She, featuring Frank Ocean. So check that out. A YouTuber by the name longestsoloever did a cover of Escape from the City Escape song. It was a funk cover of the iconic song of Sonic Adventure 2. Another one is Rusty by Tyler, the Creator, featuring Damo Genesis in a sweatshirt. There's nothing new to it. I mean, it's like an 8-year-old song, but it goes hard. So listen to that if you don't. Again, Longest Solo Ever did a funk cover of Green Hill Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog, and I just like it a lot. You should listen to it. And the last song is Huey by Earl Sweatshirt. I just like it. So those are the 5 songs you should check out. I know like 3 of them are like from the same genre, and then the other 2 are from the same guy, or 3 from the same group of people. But anyway, that is it for now. I went on a little bit too long. God damn it, it's at 30 minutes. Alright, thank you for listening to me, and let's go onward to next week. Accomplish our goals. Be great. Thank you so much for supporting me. See you later.